I really, all the way up until really late in my high school career, thought I was still going to play basketball in college. You know, even when I was getting recruited for football, even right before, I would say a couple months before I signed to play football in college, I still thought I was probably playing basketball. It was crazy.
How's it going, guys? I'm KTO, and as crazy as it sounds, former NBA player Caron Butler says that Tony Romo could have easily played in the NBA. Is this really possible? It seems far-fetched, but Tony Romo did orchestrate an NFL offense for many years, and did it at a Pro Bowl caliber level. As for just understanding the game that well, it's not unreasonable to say he could do something similar with basketball. So let's dive deeper into this. A little flashback here, back in 1998, Caron Butler and Tony Romo were the high school co-players of the year in their league in Wisconsin. Caron saw it firsthand, and he definitely believes in Tony's ability. Caron said in an interview, quote, "Tony could shoot, he could handle the ball. He had a knack for scoring, man, he really did." Looking at Romo's high school numbers, he wasn't lying. He averaged 24.3 points, 8.8 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 3.1 steals. He would go on to graduate as the school's all-time leading scorer. There's an article from USA Today in which they interviewed Tony Romo's high school coach. What I remember most about his last game, he dropped 39 on a team and he single-handedly almost beat them on their home court. They were really, really good. At the end, their fans respected his performance so much that he got a standing ovation. It was pretty crazy, and I remember just being sad that I'd never coach him again. He was really good. And earlier in that same interview, when he was asked about what sport Tony was best at, he said, quote, "I think everyone thought he was a better basketball player at the time." So to put it simply, he was just an amazing high school athlete. Maybe he did have a shot at the NBA. Really quickly, let's look at his measurables. Standing at 6'2", he's around 230 pounds. He probably would have dropped a bit of that to adjust to basketball, probably near the 205 mark. His vertical jump is about 30 inches, his broad jump's 105 inches, which is just under 9 feet, and his 40 was a 5.01. So he's not exactly blowing anyone away with his athleticism. And as athletic as the NBA is, he's got to make up for that lack of ability somewhere. Over the course of his career, Tony Romo had a knack. He could adapt and think quick on his feet. Being able to improvise in a single moment and have success with that consistently is what separates good players from great players. The same skill is probably part of the reason why he was so dominant in high school basketball. Actually, Romo himself believes his vision on the basketball court translated to the football field.
I was able to use that basketball, I guess God-given gift to be able to see things quickly and react quickly, that I was given, from the Lord. I think that's just, that was given. So I was able to use that on the football field.
Tony's high school coach also said, quote, "He was a kid who put the team first. He did whatever he had to do in order to get his team to win. He wasn't flashy, but he had a great first step. He was a stat filler. He did everything. He had quick hands and great vision." As for a player who relies on shooting, IQ of the game, quick hands, and incredible vision, I feel a realistic comparison is point guard Luke Ridenour, with a ceiling of a player like John Stockton. Romo is just a beefed up version of Luke Ridenour. They have really similar measurables, and their high school scouting reports actually match up pretty well. Both love to get their teammates involved and relied heavily on their IQ of the game, but the lack of lateral quickness and explosiveness hurt their game. An interesting part about this comparison is the year that Ridenour was drafted was the same year that Tony Romo was picked up by the Cowboys. If Romo played 4 years of basketball in college, he would have been in that same draft class. If that were to have happened, the most realistic scenario for that draft would have been the same story that Tony Romo's lived his whole life, being overlooked. He would most likely be picked up by a team as an undrafted free agent, and over time become a solid role player off the bench. I do believe though that his physical limitations would have caught up to him, but his desire to be as good as he possibly can be, along with his intuition and smarts, would have helped him make a reasonable career in the NBA. It might not be probable, but I definitely think it could have been possible. At the end of the day, when it comes to being a role player in the NBA, or a more than likely Hall of Fame quarterback, it's hard to argue that he made the wrong decision. Hey, who knows? Maybe he could have been the next John Stockton.
From Eastern